Hey guys, how are you doing today? I hope you're doing wonderfully. This is Curtis T. Maters, and I'm doing this video for my Facebook group, Heirloom Tomato Seeds and Pictures. And this very bountiful plant is Micro Dwarf Pygmy. Now, there is no other plant that I've seen that does what this plant does. This plant is like a little Christmas tree loaded with decorations waiting to happen. I mean, this thing is absolutely loaded. It's Micro Dwarf Pygmy, and I'll show you just what I mean in a few seconds here. But first, let me speak about the fruits themselves. The fruits, they're nice and, like this one right here, nice and medium soft. You know, they're not excessively firm, not excessively soft. So just right for popping in your mouth. These took about 64 days to ripen. So 64 days. There's a spider on my arm. I hope he's harmless. So these took about 64 days. They started turning about 60 days and got to where they're at right now. This is around the 64th day from transplant. Very easy to grow, you know, using Pro Mix compost tea made with Pro Mix soil and the compost tea made with tomato tone. And I use my tomato tone compost tea about once every 3 weeks, but I make sure and always keep the soil nice and moist, not overly wet, just a nice, you know, consistency. See right there? It's not overly like wet. It's just nice and moist, and every once in a while I let it dry out a little bit. Other than that, there's no miracles, there's no fancy stuff. This is all Pro Mix soil and tomato tone compost tea once every 3 weeks. Now let me show you what I mean by this plant is a little Christmas tree waiting to happen. This thing is absolutely loaded, and its fruits are delicious too, very delicious. I really like this one, and I didn't plant enough of them, but that's okay. I'll turn this over here, kind of upside down, and you'll see what I mean. Look at that. Look at that. I mean, this thing is loaded. You really can't see them from that angle, but it's everywhere you look. I mean, it's just loaded with fruits. Look at that. Like a little Christmas tree. Loaded. And I love it. It's just beautiful to watch, you know? And again, it's not difficult to grow. I'm trying to turn it here without hurting the plant. Look at that. Just beautiful. Tomatoes everywhere you turn. This thing is just loaded. I appreciate you so much, and I appreciate that you look at my videos, and I really like doing these videos for you. This is my new Canon camera, so I'm not a pro with it, but I'm getting better. I'm starting to learn the functions. It's a G7X Mark II. If anyone has any tips on helping me out with this camera to get better videos or better anything, let me know, because I can certainly use it. All right, this plant is about 6 to 8 inches tall. I would say about 7, somewhere in between there. And I have, I think, 4 or 5 plants downstairs in the basement. These were grown under lights. Every one of them is doing this, has the same habit of like tremendously packed with fruits. And I like that, because, you know, I don't want to seed everything. I want to have some to eat also. And this plant certainly would do it. Again, this is Micro Dwarf Pygmy, grown in a 3/4 gallon pot, in the low 60s to ripen after transplant. And I hope you had a wonderful time looking at this video. I love you guys a lot. Thanks for watching. Micro Dwarf Pygmy. Bye bye.